So I had a question about grip size. The person was asking me what was the appropriate grip to get the best result in tennis these days, and I have to be a little bit technical now, so bear with me. I have to give you some history of the sport. And when we had wooden rackets and the rackets were really heavy, the game was played more east-west. The swings were more level and the rackets were really heavy. So grip size played a role then in being able to negotiate the racket in this direction. And if people had grips that were too big, it was very difficult for them to move the racket. So lots of times people were selected their grip based on how their fingers sat on the handle. There's little techniques for finding that. But now with modern technology, we're really dealing with a different issue. The rackets are much lighter. Swing directions are much more south to north than they are east to west. So because the swing direction is more south to north, what we're really dealing with, and I should mention also the rackets are larger. Rackets are larger. So what we're really dealing with is this concept of torque. And torque is the racket's movement in this direction. When the ball hits it this way, racket wants to torque. When the ball hits here, racket wants to torque. So grip size plays a role in that. If you have a little grip on your racket, and I'm going to use an aid here, very high-tech visual aid. If you have a little grip, let's say the size of a pencil, and you were trying to stop the racket from torquing, it would be absolutely impossible for that to happen because you would have to white knuckle grip the thing, the handle, and the racket would still be torquing because of that size. Indeed, when we use tools like a screwdriver, we try to get the largest grip we can to increase the torque potential of the end of the screwdriver. So it's kind of the same concept here. When we are hitting a forehand, let's say, with topspin, the forces that are acting on the racket are actually in this direction. So when we have a larger grip, what happens is it potentially stops the racket torquing. And so for those players, if you're having experiences with tennis elbow, sometimes the tennis elbow is actually created by a grip that's too small and holding on to the handle too tightly. So you're hitting the ball and you're just gripping that thing because you have to, because the handle's so small to stop the torque. And when that's repeated by very many swings, you get tennis elbow. So I would advise you or encourage you to build up your grip just one over grip at a time and see what happens to your game. Most of the time when people build their grip up by one over grip, it's not a massive change, but it lets them feel the difference, like what torque will actually happen when you do that. You'll actually experience less torque as you're hitting the ball, or another way to put it is you'll experience more stability. So play with that and recognize that you can go right up to a very large grip size, in which case you won't be able to get your fingers around the handle, but that's an extreme situation. However, I have coached some senior players with arthritis who don't have a lot of strength in their hand left, and that is something that they do to accommodate that. So there's always ways to work with that. But generally speaking, I would say to you that the days of the small grip, the ultra small grip, are past us. One other aspect of a very small grip is it encourages excess use of the wrist and sort of horsing of the handle, the head of the racket rather. So really you're trying to look at a grip size that minimizes tennis elbow, reduces torque, and increases your chance of hitting a better topspin shot.